Hi everyone, it's Dan here at J&D Gardens. If you're a new viewer, welcome. Please support the channel by planting that subscribe button. And if you're already a viewer, welcome back. Well, as you can see, we're getting ready to make another batch of our potting mix. And we thought this was a perfect opportunity to revisit a video we made showing you how to do exactly that. We'll also show you in the video some of the benefits of making your own potting mix and some of the reasons why people like to make their own potting mix as opposed to buying it in the store pre-mixed. So stick around. Hi everyone, welcome to J&D Gardens. Tell me the truth, does this look familiar to you? Your seedling trays are overflowing, you're running out of room in your grow rack. Yep, you know what that means? It's potting time. Now you just don't want to grab any soil from your backyard. You want to give your plants the best chance to thrive and grow in their containers until you can get them in the ground. Now, there are a lot of pre-packaged potting mixes out there, some better than others, that novice and experienced gardeners like to use. And yet, there are more advanced gardeners who like to make their own potting mixes for a bunch of different reasons. One, it could be that they like to control the amount of perlite or vermiculite that's in it, or that it becomes a cost issue because it's cheaper for them to buy certain ingredients in bulk and make it all themselves as opposed to buying individual bags. So for people who aren't familiar with the whole potting mix process, I'll explain. So I'm going to give you an everyday example we can all relate to. Here's a pre-packaged pack of cookie mix. We've all used it, we all liked it. Well, most of us do anyway. But yet there are some people who say, oh, well, you know what, there's not enough morsels in it. I like the taste, but there's not enough morsels. So they go out and buy the morsels and they add it to the mix, which is fine. And truth be told, we do that as well. Then there could be more experienced bakers who say, you know what, I would never use this stuff. I've prepackaged, what are you kidding me? I have the best recipe in the world passed down from my grandma Trudy, and I'm gonna stick with that. And they make it from scratch. Then there could be other people, excuse me, who have 100 cookies to make for their kids' bake sale. And you take a package like this, which is about $3. Sometimes you can find it on sale, but let's just stick with $3. And it tells you can make so many cookies, but we know that never works out that way. So let's say conservatively, you can make a dozen good cookies. You got to determine how many packages of this do I want to buy. And you got to take into consideration all the ones that you and your family are going to eat. So let's say you want to buy about 10 packages of this, and 10 times 3, that comes out to be $30. So that can get kind of expensive. So what you'll probably do is go buy the flour, buy the eggs, buy the milk, and follow a recipe and make it yourself. And it'll probably save you half the cost, and it'll probably be just as good. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's equate that to the potting mixes. So here's an example of a potting mix I've used in the past. It's Miracle-Gro Moisture Control, and it's great stuff. And like I said, I've used it in the past, and I would use it again if I was in a pinch. But let's just say for the sake of argument, I said, oh, it didn't have enough vermiculite in it. So what I would do is I would add vermiculite to it. Now let's use another example. Like we make a lot of compost here at J&D. So instead of going out and buying peat moss or coconut coir for a base, I'm gonna use my compost because it's free. So I'll get the perlite and vermiculite and mix it all together myself. Now another example, excuse me, is that let's just say you had to, you have these 2-gallon pots that you have to fill up. And let's say a bag like this is about $15. Sometimes you can find it cheaper, but that's generally the going rate. And it's 50 quarts, so I can fill about 6 of these. But let's say you had to fill 36 of these. You're like, oh well, so it's 15 times 6, it comes out $90, and that's just one pot size. You can say, wow, that's a lot of money. So it would make more sense to use the compost that I have and buy the perlite and vermiculite in bulk and mix it all myself. That's starting to make sense? Can you see the correlation between the baker and the gardener? I think you can. So with that, let's go start making some potting mix. Okay, so we're here at the mixing trough. We have all our ingredients laid out. Let's start talking about the base of your potting mix. Now, a lot of people like to use stagnant peat moss, and it's a good product. We've used it in the past. It's pretty economical at
for 3.8 cubic feet, it's about $13 and change. You might be able to find it cheaper, but I think that's the going rate, at least in this area. But here at J&D, we make a lot of potting mix. So I think this is going to be our 4th batch, and we're probably going to do another 2 batches after that. So if I had to pay 13 and change each time I made the mix, not including the other ingredients, that can get kind of expensive. It could be $60, $70 depending on how much you make. So that's why here at J&D we like to use compost. We make it ourselves. It's price is right. It's the ingredients for the compost is free. It's all of our clippings from last season, other than a little sweat equity that we put into turning the pile of compost. It's free, so nothing's better than that. So I'm going to try to be as comprehensive as I can in the video when talking about the materials and the actual measurements. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use liquid measurements. So think about, for every gallon of base, in this case it's compost, we use a cup of perlite, a cup of vermiculite, and half a cup of worm castings. So this trough holds about 110 gallons. Now we're only making 40 gallons at a time. So for 40 gallons of compost, you'll need 40 cups of perlite and vermiculite. Now, with liquid measurements, we're going to do it by the quarts. So every quart is 4 cups. So I would need 10 quarts, excuse me, of each of the ingredients. Now I have my scoop here, which is about 58 ounces, and when I do a heaping scoopful, it comes out to about 2 quarts. So we're going to use the scoop, a lot easier, and then I only have to do it 5 times. So I hope that made sense. Let's get into the ingredients. So the first one is perlite.
So what is perlite? Perlite is that white popcorn-like material you see in potting mixes. It's a volcanic glass that is heated up to over 1600 degrees Fahrenheit. It pops much like popcorn and expands to 13 times its former size, resulting in an incredibly lightweight material. Now we use perlite in soil mixes to improve aeration and to modify the soil structure, keeping it loose, well drained, and defying compaction.
Okay, so now one of the things about perlite is, and vermiculite, it's a very powdery material, and if you have problems, it can get in your lungs and it can bother you a lot, so you want to be careful. In this case, I'm going to use a mask. So I hope you can hear me. So I'm going to do about 5 scoops. So as you can see, it becomes very powdery. It's hard to make a video with a mask on. So try to be downwind if, you're mixing this stuff, because it can get bad. Or wear a mask, which is the best thing. So the next item that we're going to put in, or an ingredient, excuse me, is vermiculite.
Now vermiculite is a little harder to see. It varies in color from dark gray to sandy brown. Vermiculite is a natural occurring material that takes the form of glossy flakes. These flakes, which are more significantly a hydrated magnesium, iron, aluminum sulfate material. They get heated up in a commercial furnace where they expand and take a concertina shape, or almost like a little accordion. Now the benefits of using vermiculite is that it's a lightweight material, it doesn't rot, it improves the soil structure through soil aeration, and increases water and nutrient retention.
Okay, so let's, excuse me, watch the dust. Let's get the vermiculite. Boy, let's move this perlite out of the way. Get our vermiculite. Okay. Really use a mask because this can really bother you. Now the last ingredient is worm castings.
Now, worm castings are an organic form of fertilizer produced by earthworms, also known as vermicast. Worm casting manure is essentially earthworm waste. Now, the benefits of using worm casting in your potting mix is that it increases water retention in the soil, improves soil aeration, and anchors plants' nutrients that would otherwise leach away with watering.
So worm casting is a great ingredient to add to your potting mix. Now for this amount, which is 40 gallons, it comes out to be about 6 pounds. Now you can get worm castings in your supply stores, or at we got this at Home Depot, and actually it's perfect 6 pounds. They come in 6 and 12, but it's actually perfect to do 6 pounds. We can just put the whole bag in. And worm castings is something that we're actually looking to get into in the future. Jackie said if I'm good for next Valentine's Day, she's gonna buy me a worm farm or worm bin. She's such a romantic, so I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm gonna bring the camera in closer so you can see me mix this all in. Okay, so you can see inside the trough now. So we're gonna add our worm castings. Let's spread them out. Really fine stuff. Okay, get that out of the way. We'll get our scoop out of the way for now. Okay, now a good way to start mixing in the beginning is to use your pitchfork. So at this point, when it's mixed with the dirt, you don't have to worry as much as far as the powder, and you'll see it starts taking another color. Now I'm only doing 40 gallons at a time, which is a way of me saying that I've tried to do more, even though there's a hole, but it just becomes too difficult. So, and trust me, I have tried more. So you see there's pockets underneath, so try with the pitchfork first. You have to get to the bottom. Okay, but you see all the colors starts changing totally. You want this helps mix the pitchfork. I'm gonna get in, but you see on the bottom there's still a lot of dirt. As much as this seems, we're gonna go through this and no problems. See, you gotta mix it around. And then at some point, I'll turn to the shovel, because you see, there's still a lot of dirt underneath. So, got a good mix in the beginning. Now I'll move to the shovel. Allows me to get lower and really turn the bottom. You see there's still whoop. And some people like to add more perlite or vermiculite, and that's fine. This actually just works for us. You see, it's still, oh, it's mixed. Now as I pull the top out and put it in the wheelbarrow, I'll just keep mixing the bottom, any part that I did, but you want to try to get as much as you can. I think I'm getting the bottom, not too many spots. Oh, a couple of spots there. Good thing of having a large trough like this is this reason. If I did this in the wheelbarrow, can't tell you what a mess it would make. Yeah, I think we're just about there. I'll spend a little more time mixing this up, but as you can see, good stuff. The color, very fluffy, very airy. Smells great, very earthy, and it's gonna make great potting mix. See, it clumps up a little, not too much, it breaks apart. It's gonna allow a lot of water to seep through it. So I think this batch is ready. So there you go. As you can see, nothing's really changed in the way we make our potting mix, and I don't think it ever will. You know, it's that old saying, if it works for you, stick with it. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you learned something. If you have any questions on making your own potting mix, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. And if you actually stuck it out to the end of the video and you were wondering if Jackie ever got me that worm farm, well, let me tell you, she did. And it's been great. We actually decided to go with the Hungry Bin worm farm, and it's been producing some great worm castings for us, and it's been really interesting going through the process and learning more about vermicomposting. And actually, we have a new batch we got this morning that we're able to add to the potting mix, which is absolutely great. So we're gonna add that in, and I'm sure it's gonna be work out really good for our plants. And if you're interested in learning about vermicomposting, we have some great videos on it. We're gonna leave some links at the end of this one. And also be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that bell to let you know of any future videos coming out. So from all of us here at J&D Gardens, till next time, remember, yes we canna.